And absolutely. No, we really feel good about this. And actually, as we work through it with the industry partners, I think everybody feels good about it. So, we're really looking forward to kicking that off at Dover and getting going with it.
Cool, Scott. Thanks for your time.
Yep, no problem.
NASCAR Senior VP of Competition, Scott Miller, with our NASCAR Today's Woody Kane. And Posey, it just seemed to make sense. It seemed like that qualifying was creating more consternation than it was enjoyment. And then now with this format, basically, as you open up with, what's old is new, what's new is old, and all that stuff, we're going back to what we did for many years. And there is an element of drama related to that, counting down those trucks, in this case of what we're about to do here, one by one, and seeing who ultimately will be the fastest vehicle that will qualify and win the pole, whereas before, say, in the Cup Series, where there was drafting involved and trying to get a tow, not necessarily the fastest truck in raw brute speed was the pole sitter, the one that caught the right tow off of a pack of cars in front of them. And of course, again, this applies to all three NASCAR National Series.
Yes, it is. It is, and primarily the biggest element of this was the change in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Again, more similar with what we have here in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series, and so we will see what happens. The big thing here with this qualifying session: 2 laps, 1 round. We'll see who's the fastest, and one of the drivers that is going to be gunning for that spot is Grant Enfinger, and he is alongside of Jason Toy.
Well, we're sitting down here on the start-finish line. Grant's kind of just taking it all in. You and I were talking off the air. You like going back to the 2-lap qualifying, single trucks run out there. Also, I guess it's got to save a lot, too, on the wear and tear on the truck, particularly a racetrack like this.
So I actually feel like it's a little bit more intense from a driver's perspective, because with 3 rounds, you kind of got a little chance to warm up to it. Here, you don't know 100% what you got. You just got to lay it on the line. So I feel like we have a really good Champion Power Equipment F-150. But also racing with some heavy hearts this weekend. A good friend of ours, Clint Smith, passed away a couple of days ago, so we're thinking of him.
We definitely hate to hear that, and all the best to his family and your family as well. But let's talk about this. When you had practice yesterday, 2 sessions, were you able to do any qualifying setups in that deal, or did you try to work a lot more on the race setup?
We made 1 qualifying run. Fairly happy with it. We got hung up a little bit in traffic, but overall pretty solid. I do feel really good about our racetrack, though. I think we can move around a little bit, and it holds good on long runs. Just really tough to pass trucks today, so I think qualifying is going to be important.
All right, there you go. Grant Enfinger looking to qualify. He'll get ready to roll off here. 26 on the grid.
Of course, when we were with the trucks last at Texas Motor Speedway, Posty, Grant Enfinger finishing inside of the top 5. He's got mixed results finishing-wise here at Dover, 3rd and 14th in his 2 starts at Dover. And of course, he's associated with Thor Sport Racing, which has emerged into quite the powerhouse in the trucks here in 2019.
They really have been the powerhouse and really looking now to establish themselves. I think you mentioned one of the other keys is it's been like 35 days since the last race. Now we're getting into the season where they'll race more regularly, and we will see who establishes themselves as the top teams. Qualifying has started here. 49-year-old racer from nearby Elliott City, Maryland, Ray Ciccarelli, the first driver on the racetrack. Again, a 2-lap run. His first lap, speed of 133.794. Here he is, the Chevy Silverado across the stripe, a little bit quicker, 136.199, and we are underway qualifying here for the Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
Here comes Rafael Lessard out of turn number 4. His qualifying lap is underway. Finished 14th earlier this season at Martinsville. He's making his 2nd start in the Truck Series here this weekend at Dover, and it's his first start here at the Monster Mile. This is quite an intimidating racetrack, and I can't imagine a driver that, as he says, has so much on the line. This is a make-or-break effort for him, driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and you come into a track that's named the Monster Mile. This is tough on driver and equipment alike.
Tough for sure. That is the case. Rafael Lessard getting his first lap in. It's going to be a lot faster, 158.709. He's working his way around the speedway. He is driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Another driver with much more experience. Well, yeah, these young kids that Kyle Busch has. Harrison Burton is standing by with our Dylan Welch.
Yeah, and watching his teammate and Rafael Lessard going around. Harrison Burton here getting ready to climb aboard his Safe Flight Toyota this weekend. So a place like this, somebody like you who doesn't have a lot of experience in the trucks, what do you look for kind of when you're watching your teammates go around here?
It's always a good opportunity to learn, and this single truck qualifying is really good for that. You can sit back and watch and see what people do, and kind of see what times they run after they do it. So you kind of get an idea for what kind of grip the track has and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. I like this single truck qualifying because all the pressure and all the eyes are on you, and it creates a really cool atmosphere of just all eyes on one truck or car. So I love that, and I'm excited to go out and give it a go.
He's ready to go out in just a little bit. Harrison Burton driving the Safe Light Toyota this weekend for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
Trying to rebound after that 31st place finish he had at Texas Motor Speedway, his worst finish of 2019. Of course, we look forward to seeing what Harrison has in qualifying and also what he has in the race coming up later this evening here at Dover. We mentioned Rafael Lessard, his KBM teammate, right now quickest of the 3 drivers that have taken time, 159.158 miles an hour, 22.619 seconds. Josh Reaume has just completed his lap, second of now the 4 that are on the board. 25.757, 139.768 miles an hour.
Next driver to roll out onto the speedway is Corbin Forester as he brings his truck up to speed now, gets on his qualifying lap. First of 2 laps here at the Monster Mile. Flat gray truck for Forester. Of course, 26-year-old driver from Cedartown, Georgia, out there wheeling onto this lap, and he jumps to second spot, 151.989 miles per hour. So as Corbin Forester works his way around the Monster Mile, let's go back down to the garage area. I don't know that we established it's Jason Toya and Dylan Welch covering things down in the pit and garage area, and I believe Jason Toya is caught up with the veteran Matt Crafton.
Yeah, the winner here at Dover here in the past. Matt Crafton getting ready to jump into his Ford. And Matty, you guys have your boys have been busy today. You guys came in, had to change a motor in your Ford. What happened, and what's this going to do for you the race today after starting in the back?
We're just going to have to start at the back and do a little work at the beginning of the race. It's a shame when these motors were running the spec motor, it breaks and then they make you start at the back. Had a problem with it in Texas as well with the motor, and hope we can get all that figured out. It's been 2 different deals, so I know this Menard Ford F-150 was really, really fast. The truck was good yesterday, made a qualifying run. Didn't go as well as we needed to, but had really good race trim yesterday.
All right, now you guys got to start in the back. What's it going to do to the change kind of things here for the race for you guys, because 200 laps will go pretty quick here?
I mean, track position can be key. I mean, it is everywhere we go. I mean, if you go to Martinsville, it's key. I mean, the only place that's really track position isn't really that big is Daytona, Talladega, just because it's draft. But aero, I mean, you get out front here, it can change a lot. So we just got a lot of work to do at the beginning.
All right, there you go. That is Matt Crafton. He's a former winner here at Dover. Like you said, changed the engine. He'll go from the back part of the field here this afternoon.
On the racetrack right now, Derrick Krause has just qualified in the 2nd position, 22.845 seconds, 157.584 miles an hour. Right now, Rafael Lessard is quickest, Derrick Krause, Corbin Forester, Josh Reaume, Ray Ciccarelli, your top 5. Tyler Dipple firing up off turn number 4 right now to complete his first of 2 laps. Let's see what Tyler's able to turn in right there. 4th of 6th overall, 23.871 seconds. This is race 6 of the season for the trucks. Of course, the season opener at Daytona won by Austin Hill. The rest have been won by Kyle Busch. Dylan, Austin Hill already locked into the playoffs and looking for a good starting spot here to take the green flag later this evening.
Yeah, and about ready to climb aboard his Toyota here in just a little bit. So practice yesterday, obviously haven't been on track today. What's it like having to jump in these trucks first thing in the morning here and go out and lay down a fast lap?
Oh, it's tough, especially somewhere like Dover. Dover's probably by far the most intense qualifying that you do throughout the whole schedule. So it's just one of those racetracks you just hold your breath and hope it sticks.
What do you have to do to lay down a good qualifying lap here?
Try to go as close to wide open as you can. You got to drive down in the hole really deep over the little hill that we have in both corners, and when it lands, you just got to hope it sticks. You know, I'm sure that the guy that just went out and turned that fast lap that he turned, he had to be close to wide open to turn that fast of a lap. So I'm gonna hold it wide open and see if it sticks. If it don't, then we'll just be starting from the rear.
That's Austin Hill. He's got the TRD 40th anniversary colors. Good looking race truck this weekend. Going to try and put it up front here in qualifying.
Austin Hill is getting ready to go out and make his qualifying run. Let's bring you up to speed where we stand because some drivers have taken time here. Rafael Lessard continues as the fastest driver, 22.619. Derrick Krause in the second spot. Tyler Dipple is up to the third spot now. Reed Wilson has just completed his qualifying lap. He is fourth fastest. Corbin Forester, fifth fastest. Josh Rayoon, sixth. Ray Ciccarelli, seventh. The veteran from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Norm Benning, rolling out onto the speedway now. So he's working in turn number 3. Slides up the racetrack just a little bit with his Chevy Silverado. Now right back down to the inside. Benning is on it here as he comes to the stripe and gets his first of 2 qualifying laps completed.
Takes the white flag. Right now, Norm is 8th of the 8 drivers that have gone out. You know, it's interesting, Posty, to hear Austin Hill talk about if it sticks. Dover's unique in that the only flat part of the racetrack is pit road. The straightaways are banked 9 degrees, the corners are banked 24 degrees, and if you're up against the wall as you enter turn 1, when you dive down into the corner, that is a story drop, and then you have to wait for the vehicle to land, and then when it lands, hope you have the comfort to get that solid landing to turn it. And in the case of whatever vehicle you're driving this weekend, it could be a delayed response to the throttle. If you're in a cup car, you're right back to the gas and getting launched up onto these straightaways, and that can be a handful in itself.
It sounds amazing to me, and when you hear the drivers talk about it, they take it so much for granted. Austin Hill is the driver that mentioned that to us. He has a K&N win here, and he loves this racetrack. When chatting with him earlier today, I said, well, how do you approach it? Does it take a few laps to get up to speed? He said, no, you attack it the first lap. You drive it in there the first lap and hope it sticks. In fact, yesterday his second lap was his fastest lap all day long. So you attack it. That's why these race car drivers are different than us broadcasters, because there ain't no way I'm attacking something where you drop off a 2-story at 180 mile an hour at the end of these turns. There ain't no way I'm doing it, but that's why these guys are as good as they are.
Well, and they're also wired totally different than what we are.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Right now, 8 trucks have taken time here as we get qualified for the Jegs 200. Rafael Lessard, Derrick Krause, Tyler Dipple, Reed Wilson, Corbin Forester, your top 5. Josh Rayoon, Ray Ciccarelli, Norm Benning, the 8 that have taken time so far here at the Monster Mile. From Dover International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You hear it every week.
Just want to thank the whole team and all our guys back in Denver. Everybody supports this team.
They're the unsung heroes of NASCAR, and their life is the pits. This is Rocco Williams, and for 10 years I've jacked up some of the biggest names in auto racing, and now I'm jacked to bring it all down to street level and acquaint you with the guys behind the wall and back at the shop. Join me on MRN Crew Call, presented by Money Lion, every Wednesday on MRN.com, iTunes, or wherever podcasts are found.
The battle for the 2019 championship will be filled with twists and turns.
We got to kind of calm down for these speedway races because you can use the bumper, but you end up taking 10 other people with you.
Each weekday, NASCAR Today brings you the top stories in the sport.
That's a totally different experience for me and Cobb.
In the garage, at the track, or behind the scenes, NASCAR Today keeps you up to speed every weekday.
Go for it. What do we got to lose? I don't know. I mean, you might as well try it, right?
Back at Dover International Speedway, pole qualifying for the Jegs 200 continues on NASCAR.com and at MRN.com. So glad you're spending your Friday afternoon with us here in Dover, Delaware. Right now on the racetrack, Gus Dean is on his first lap as we go downstairs to Dylan Welch.
And with Todd Gilliland as he gets set to climb aboard his Mobil 1 Toyota here. You've got laps here in the trucks, in the K&N cars. What makes this place so challenging as a race car driver?
I think it's just the feeling of speed you get on entry. You know, this is probably the most nervous I've been for qualifying. It's been a long time in general since I've done single car qualifying. All the eyes are on you, and that's a really cool stage. So we're going to go out here, give it my all in my Mobil 1 Toyota Tundra, and we were pretty good yesterday in practice. We made a few more adjustments last night, so hopefully we got something to win with.
What is it about single car qualifying that heightens the nerves a little bit?
I think just, like I said, all the eyes are on you. If you mess up a little bit in group qualifying, you have sometimes even another whole run you can go make to make up for that. But here it's 2 laps, and that's what you get. So, you know, there's a little bit of pressure, but it's going to be about who can handle it the best.
He won the ARCA race last week at Talladega, going to try and continue his good mojo with a strong run in qualifying here at Dover.
Todd Gilliland going to climb aboard that truck and go out here in just a second. I've had a couple of drivers go out and run laps. Gus Dean, great qualifying effort for him. Third fastest, 23.063, 156.094 miles per hour. Working his way around the racetrack right now. Tyler Hill on his first of 2 laps here for Tyler Hill as he is on the Monster Mile and logging laps here as we are 10 drivers in now of the 32 drivers here for this qualifying session.
Another nuance to the updated qualifying format here at Dover, and actually it's a restoration of something we used to do when we had single car qualifying before. If it's your turn to qualify and your truck is not ready, you're put on a 5-minute clock. If the truck doesn't make it onto the track in those 5 minutes, you start at the back of the pack. That's what's happening to Ryan Sieg right now. He's making a lot of headlines in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, coming back to the Truck Series, running this race here today. His truck not ready to qualify. He is on that 5-minute clock. We hope that he's able to get that truck out there and complete his 2 laps of qualifying before we race this afternoon.
You know, I miss the old 5-minute clock, and sometimes we would have drivers climbing aboard cars as crews were pushing it down pit road, trying to beat the 5-minute clock. So welcome back. It's good to have the 5-minute clock back here as well. Jennifer Jo Cobb, racer from Kansas City, Missouri now. She is on the first of 2 qualifying laps as she works her way up off from turn number 2. Has got her first lap in the books, 11th fastest for Jennifer, 26.685, 134.907. So Jennifer's going to have to pick it up just a little bit, although with 32 trucks here, all the trucks will start, but right now jockeying for starting position.
Well, and you want the best starting position as possible because we've seen it time in time and time again, day in and day out, race in and race out here at Dover. Closer you start to the front of the field, the odds are of having a better run. Track position here is so important. Jordan Anderson now on the racetrack. He launches up onto turn 2 and onto the back straightaway. Coming up to qualify after Jordan, it'll be Jessie Little. Joe Nemechek is going to attempt to qualify here today along with Natalie Decker. Ben Rhodes, Ross Chastain in that Nice Motorsports Chevrolet, along with Brandon Jones, Austin Wayne Self, Matt Crafton, Brennan Poole, and others, as qualifying is kicking off in very quick and short order here at Dover. One gentleman that's been very, very busy this week is Stewart Friesen. He's trying to win his first truck race. He's been in Georgetown, Delaware the last couple of days, running on the old dirt racetrack down there. He competed at Delaware International Speedway in the old big block modified the other night in Del Mar. And now he's about to climb aboard his Chevy Silverado. Before he does, he visits with our Jason Toy.
Yeah, he sits down here taking a look at things up on the ISM Vision screens as well. And we were joking earlier about you guys having spring break for the last handful of weeks, but everybody else kind of laying back, relaxing. You've been busy running that big block modified, and also this weekend as you come in on that after the great runs over the week, you're doing something pretty special with your truck when it comes to autism.
Yeah, absolutely. So my wife had a great idea, and in conjunction with Halmar and Chris Larson, let us kind of take over the truck and break it up into puzzle pieces. Our HFR Race for Autism to benefit the Crossroads Center for Children, just turned out awesome. We had a lot of great race fans and friends and family. People I'd driven for and different sponsors that came on and bought the pieces, and together we were able to raise $70,000 for the Crossroads Center. So the school that my son goes to, my son Parker's on the spectrum, so they've done great things for Parker and great things for a bunch of different families and kids, and it was really nice to be able to give back to them.
Let's talk about your truck. How do you feel confident-wise you're getting ready to qualify?
It was pretty good. We fought it for a while in practice yesterday, and then kind of dialed in on something that was holding us back and fixed that, and it raced and handled really, really well throughout the last third of practice. So we'll see what we got. And I see the 46 put up a big number there. I'll try to hold her wide open and give it what it gets.
All right, Stewart Friesen getting ready to jump into his truck, and he talked about the puzzle pieces for autism. You look at some of the names that are on here. You got Oma and Granddad. You got Lane Parks. You just got Boz, plain and simple. Spencer Gallagher buying some. Moody Mile Motorsports, and a whole lot more. He said over $70,000 they raised towards the foundation to help out some great causes here for autism. And Stewart Friesen as they get ready to roll off here in qualifying.
Joe Nemechek on the racetrack now, working through his qualifying laps. Just prior to him, Jessie Little was on the racetrack. Jessie has brought his truck. It's a flat black number 97 truck. On the front of the truck is a UNC Charlotte decal and the hashtag Charlotte Strong. Jessie is a class of 2020 at UNC in the Charlotte area. Many of the people in the garage area actually attended UNC Charlotte, as they have had a great motorsports program there. A lot of engineering talent that has come out of there. If you've been following the news and the headlines along the way this week, of course, course, Tuesday afternoon, a gunman on campus, and 2 students, 19-year-old Ellis Paulier of Midland, North Carolina, 21-year-old Riley Howard of Waynesville, North Carolina, lost their lives, and 4 other students, 19, 20, 23, 20-year-old students, are in recovery after that. So Jessie wanted to make sure he honored his fellow Niner Nation folks. Really touched me personally, Mike. About an hour before that, my daughter, who is a senior in high school, sent the email in to accept an offer to attend UNC Charlotte in August, and an hour later we're all of a sudden turning on the news in the Charlotte area. So it became really personal for Niner Nation now that our family has joined Niner Nation, and so it's great to see Jessie Little have that. Many of the other teams have Niner Nation or Charlotte Strong on their trucks and cars as well this weekend. So we all mourn for the families, the Charlotte community, the greater Charlotte community, for the tragedy that happened on Tuesday afternoon at UNC Charlotte.
And it's good to see the NASCAR community stepping up and showing that support, a very important part of the Charlotte community. And of course, hopefully we'll be able to get our arms around all of this and stop the madness that seems to be happening, and obviously striking most recently with UNC Charlotte. Let's run you down through the leaderboard here. 15 strong qualified for the Jegs 200. Rafael Lessard, still the one everyone's chasing. Jessie Little, good run, second there. Derrick Krause, Gus Dean, Natalie Decker, your top 5, with Joe Nemechek qualifying in 6th. So far, Jordan Anderson in 7th, Tyler Dipple 8th, 9th is Reed Wilson, 10th is Tyler Hill.
11th is Corbin Forester, Jennifer Jo Cobb is 12th, Josh Rayum 13th, Ray Ciccarelli 14th, Norm Benning 15th, and slated to go, but I believe maybe has expired on the 5-minute clock, Ryan Sieg, the 16th spot.
Still to come, Ben Rhodes, Ross Chastain, Brandon Jones, Austin Wayne Self, Matt Crafton, as we're clicking off the laps here in qualifying. From Dover International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Looking towards the weekend? Aren't Thursdays a drag? Ours too. Get your weekly dose of nitro-fueled NHRA talk every Thursday on the Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is Ralph Shaheen. Join Doug Herbert and myself as we talk with the biggest names, both past and present, to ever stomp down on the loud pedal. Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, motorcycles, you name it, we talk about it. Don't miss the Straight Line, Thursdays on MRN.com, iTunes, or wherever your favorite podcasts are heard.
The 1993 Cup Series season had more than its fair share of twists and turns.
Checkered flags waving. I look in my mirror, and here's Earnhardt right on my tail, and he goes down low to pass me. And I said, oh, no, you don't.
As Wallace spins, Wallace's car goes on its nose.
Hear stories that you've never heard before in a 10-part series called The 1993 Season, 25 years later.
And Davey was behind me, and we came off the corner, and there's a guy standing in the middle of the racetrack.
You can download it for free on iTunes and at MRN.com right now.
Ben Rhodes has just taken the green flag in qualifying for the Jegs 200. His Carolina Nut Truck rockets up off turn number 2 as we head down to pit road and Dylan Welch.
And Jessie Little, who just qualified in the 2nd position, and watching Ben Rhodes' race truck go around here. And Jessie, 2nd on the board right now. How do you feel about your lap?
Not too bad. I wish it was a little cleaner. We hit the track pretty hard, landing on both corners, and shoved up the groove a good bit. But I think it'll have race speed. We should, see how it plays out. I don't know how many more are left, but hopefully we'll still wind up in the top 10, and we'll be able to go 200 miles from there.
Cause on the hood of your race truck, I know that's important to you. How much do you want to have a good run, especially with that on the hood?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge motivator for not only me, but everyone back in Charlotte and a part of Niner Nation. It's an honor to carry them on the hood, and hopefully we'll have a good result tonight.
He's looking good right now. 2nd on the board for Jessie Little. Jason?
We'll follow up with Jason Toy there.
There we go. Actually, just talking with Rafael Lessard here. He's got a big old smile on his face. Sorry about that, guys. We're talking about Canada a little bit. And, of course, the Canadian here sitting on top of the pylon here. And you were fast in practice yesterday on both sessions. How quickly, how was it getting up to speed driving a truck on the track this fast? I'm sure it's probably one of the faster ones you've been on.
I just had to go as fast as I could. That's almost, it was crazy out there. I've never been that fast on the racetrack in my life, but it's so much fun, and I just can't thank everyone enough at Cobb Busch Motorsports, Spectra Premium, Cobb Busch, and for his advice, Noah Gregson for his advice too, and just I'm super happy. there's still a bunch of good guys that gonna go out there, but I think it's gonna be hard to beat.
Talk about your owner, Kyle Busch. What kind of advice did he give you about jumping here? You've been running the late models for him. You ran them at Martinsville in the truck, but to go on this fast of a track.
Oh, just those trucks, it's a little bit heavier than what I'm used to in a super late, so those trucks you kind of have to slow it down a little bit more and to be fast. So that's what he told me, and the lines here. And I know during the race it's going to be a whole different story, because with the air, and when you get in dirty air, it's really hard, and to pass, it's super hard to pass here. So I think I'm just going to have to learn as much as I can tonight.
One of the things about it, Rafael Lessard's got a big old smile on his face. He's right now on top of the scoring pylon in qualifying.
Rafael Lessard is the fastest. Ben Rhodes is second fastest. Jessie Little is third. Derrick Krause is fourth. We just had Ross Chastain on the track. He is fifth fastest. Gus Dean is sixth. Brandon Jones just wrapped up his two-lap qualifying run, and he is seventh fastest. Natalie Decker, she is eighth fastest. Ninth fastest is Joe Nemechek. Jordan Anderson is 10th fastest. On the racetrack now, Austin Wayne Self rolls up to speed, and good to have Austin Wayne Self back. Ran into some trouble with the NASCAR substance abuse policy, has completed the road to recovery, and has promised better behavior going forward, and now he works his way off from turn number 4 to complete his first of 2 laps.
And he is behind the wheel of that truck. Lap 1 in the books. Austin Wayne Self, 14th of 19 trucks that have qualified so far. 23.438 seconds, 153.597 miles an hour. Let's see what Austin does here. He fires the truck into the bottom side of turns 3 and 4, and now he'll rocket up onto the straightaway to the start-finish line. Checkered flag in the air, and he will jump up all the way to the 6th position, 156.590 miles an hour.
Good run for the 23-year-old driver from Austin, Texas. That is Austin Wayne Self. The veteran Matt Crafton rolls onto the speedway, a former winner here at the Monster Mile. And Crafton now gets his truck up to speed, 2013 and 2014. Gander Outdoors Truck Series champion, 42-year-old racer from Tulare, California, off turn number 4. That looks awful good off from the final corner. Let's see what he is down across, and it did look good. On top of the speed charts, 22.561, 159.567, and he's digging for more off turn 2.
He is one of 2 winners that'll be in the field today. Matt Crafton, Johnny Sauter, the only former Dover winners that will run the Jegs 200 later this evening. And here comes Matt off turn number 4. Can he get quicker? No. That lap of record will stand pat. 22.561 seconds, 159.567 miles an hour.
Matt Crafton has his time atop the speed charts. Here's Brennan Poole rolling his way down into turns 1 and 2. Poole now up off from turn number 2. The number 30 on the side of this racetrack, Brennan, another one of our Texas drivers, 28-year-old, and this is his first full season here in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series. Works his way off from turn number 4. Brennan Poole right down on the inside of the racetrack. We'll see if he is fast where he is at, and 6th fastest for Brennan Poole.
And that knocks Ross Chastain to 7th. Ross is with our Jason Toy.
Yeah, he's sitting down here. Well, I say he's sitting down, Mike. He was actually just laying down here on pit road. Looked like he was taking a nap. He was laying on his side, but actually he was stripping the hat off to look up underneath the front end here of the Florida Watermelon Association Chevrolet. And you had a good run there, top 10, at least right now, but you got out and you started looking up underneath there. What was wrong with the truck and not to your liking?
We just didn't handle the way I wanted it to. Missing something for sure, and just trying to see if I hit the ground or what was going on.
Did you hit the ground?
I don't know. I'm not that smart. I'll let them tell me.
You guys have had great runs in this truck, continuing that momentum. You had a handful of weeks off, and you're getting ready to go into a series of good tracks here for you guys. And I mean, obviously, you guys want to get the victory lane here, but how tough will it be to do that here at Dover?
It will be. I mean, Dover's a tough track, tough field. But yeah, there's nothing more that I want than to get out in East Victory Lane, and we got the Florida Watermelon Association truck, so good to have 2 of my cars this weekend covered up watermelons, and obviously that's what I love and what my history is. So yeah, just trying to figure out how to go a little faster than all the rest of these guys.
Yeah, he definitely does it with a big old smile on his face. That's Ross Chastain.
Right now, Ross has been shuffled back to the 8th position. Austin Hill is on the move there. A footnote to the Matt Crafton story, even though he is on the pole for now, he changed the motor and will have to go to the back of the pack to start the race this afternoon. And that's something that obviously no one wants to do, but if anybody can get it done, Matt Crafton is on the short list.
Yeah, boy, going to give us something fun to watch as he comes from the back of the field with what is a fast truck. Austin Hill has completed his 2-lap run. The Daytona winner is going to be 5th fastest as we sit right now. 22.753 miles speed. Seconds around the racetrack, 158.221. Youngster Todd Gilliland, we just heard from him a little bit ago. He brings the Kyle Busch Toyota down into turn number 2. Now he's completed lap number 1, 22.825, 157.722. Gilliland right down left side tires down along the apron of the racetrack as he rolls for his second lap off turn 4.
Checkered flag in the air. Let's see what Todd Gilliland does. And looks like he will not improve all that much. 7th place, 22.825, 157.722. Interesting to note that Todd Gilliland is the driver that has the most starts of any KBM driver without a win. This will be his 31st start in the Jegs 200, trying to go to victory lane for KBM. From Dover International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Here's a special message for those of you who owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes. The IRS has special programs in place that could eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. Call the Federal Tax Management Helpline that has been set up for you, 800-242-1706. Stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. Once you've qualified and enrolled, the IRS will stop all the collection activities against you. These unique programs have been allocated to help the economy and significantly reduce or eliminate your tax burden. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe more than $10,000 in taxes, call for free information and to see if you qualify. Take down the number now for the Federal Tax Management Hotline, 800-242-1706. That's 800-242-1706. 800-242-1706.
Back at Dover International Speedway, pole qualifying for the Jegs 200 for the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series continues. Matt Crafton fastest so far. Rafael Lessard second. Brennan Poole third. Ben Rhodes fourth. Austin Hill fifth. Jesse Little is 6th, Todd Gilliland 7th, Derrick Krause 8th, Ross Chastain 9th, and Austin Wayne Self in 10th.
Gustine is 11th fastest, Brandon Jones 12th, Natalie Decker 13th, Joe Nemechek 14th, Jordan Anderson 15th, Tyler Dipple 16th, 17th is Reed Wilson, 18th is Tyler Hill, Corbin Forester 19th, and 20th, Jennifer Jo Cobb.
21st, Josh Rayum, Ray Ciccarelli 22nd, Norm Benning 23rd, Ryan Sieg did not attempt a qualifying effort. He right now is posted in 24th as Johnny Sauter pulls onto the racetrack. Johnny going for his 3rd consecutive truck win here at Dover as we go to pit road and Dylan Welch.
And with Brennan Poole, who sits 3rd on the board right now. So a nice lap for you. How'd it feel behind the wheel?
Yeah, it was really good. I wasn't expecting it to quite have as much grip as it did out there, so good thing I had that second lap. I was able to adjust it a little bit, but the truck drove really good. We worked on it hard yesterday, chased a lot of things, but the guys did great work through the night last night and got this thing driving pretty good. So we're going to have a good starting spot tonight. Just proud of the effort. Everybody on this On Points team has worked so hard. Thank you to Toyota, everybody who supported us this year, and we'll go out here this afternoon and race them.
How good does it feel to, after a long break here, to come back and be fast right away?
Yeah, it's great. This is our first new truck. The guys have worked really hard on all of our new stuff, so it's the first time we've had a new truck at the racetrack, so it's awesome to see that we have more speed than we've had the beginning part of the year. So I'm excited to see how it's going to race. I think the guys have brought a really, really nice truck, so we'll go out there and race them and hopefully have a great day. I used to say all the time, if you're in the show, you can win the show, so we'll see what we can do this afternoon.
That's a good attitude to have. Brennan Poole right now 4th on the board as we've got a new man on top right now.
That's Brennan Poole. Looks like he's dropped back to the 4th spot now. Johnny Sauter to the top of the speed charts, 159.922 miles per hour, 22.511, but about 6 trucks left. Let's see, we've had, looks like Grant Enfinger goes to 4th fastest now, so that drops Brennan Poole back another spot. Let's go back down track side to Jason Toy.
Yeah, real quick, we'll check in with Austin Hill, who brings his Toyota in here, and right now currently in that top 10 of the 7th spot. All right, new qualifying effort out here, going with single truck qualifying. How'd it run, and what do you anticipate for this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. We got a little loose. Got a little loose when we landed. And when it got loose, I chased it a little bit, and I rolled out too much. I think I left about a 10th on the table, just not being committed enough. When I got loose and chased it up the track, I think I rolled out too much. But, I mean, the guys, they gave me a fast truck. That's all I can ask for, So I think we're going to have a good starting position. We'll be around 7th, 8th, somewhere around there. And as long as it stays cool like this and cloudy, it's going to be a fast-paced race. I mean, you're going to be rolling pretty hot the whole race. Not going to be a whole lot of lifting. Aero's going to be huge today for sure. So that's really the biggest thing is you want to start up front and stay up front because I think passing is going to be a big issue today.
All right, there you go. Austin Hill currently right now in that 7th spot.
Austin Hill right now in the 7th position. Spencer Boyd just pulled his truck onto the racetrack. He completes his run, 24.822 seconds. That's 143.033 miles an hour. Good enough for 22nd of 27 trucks that have qualified.
It's a good run for Spencer Boyd. He actually is in a backup truck, so he wrecked his truck yesterday. So good to see Spencer Boyd with that 22nd fastest run. Spencer, one of those cats that drives here in the Truck Series, huge race fan. He and a bunch of his buddies, they loaded up the grill, they loaded up the cooler, and they were race fans at Talladega last week when the Xfinity Series and Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. I'm walking down pit road, there he is in shorts and a t-shirt, and he starts screaming and hooting and hollering, and I just love his passion for the sport, and felt bad for him yesterday when he was repairing the wrecked race truck, but good to see Spencer Boyd back here with the backup truck going to, right now slots into 23rd.
Whoa, trouble for Harrison Burton for a moment. The truck kicked out on him. Speaking of screaming and hooping and hollering, Kim Burton, that's Harrison's mother, will no doubt be on the war wagon cheering him on today. Right now, Harrison overall qualifying in the 10th position. We've just got a handful of trucks left to go. Brett Moffitt on the racetrack now. Don't forget, coming up later this afternoon, we'll have coverage of NASCAR Xfinity Series practice, 2:30 Eastern Time. Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden, Kim Kuhn, and Dylan Welch will be back with you for that. We have Monster Energy Bush Pole qualifying. That will roll along at 3:30 this afternoon. And then, of course, we've got coverage of the Jegs 200 for these very same trucks at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're back tomorrow with a couple of practice sessions and the NASCAR Xfinity Series Allied Steel Buildings 200. And then, of course, the main event, Sunday, the Gander RV 400. All of these broadcasts on the Motor Racing Network via MRN.com or our terrestrial network of stations from coast to coast.
We've got a new man atop the speed chart. He is the reigning champ, Brett Moffitt, the racer out of Grimes, Iowa, your reigning champion here in the series, and he goes faster than Johnny Sauter. He's at 22.303, 161.413 miles per hour. So we will see his business is picking up with 3 trucks remaining. It's Brett Moffitt atop the charts.
Brett Moffitt almost threw it away coming out of turn 4. That truck had a huge bobble. He collected it, backed out of the gas. He is on the pole, and now it's time for Stu the Shoe. He's on the racetrack right now. Stewart Friesen is trying to put in his qualifying effort to see if he can lead the field to the green flag.
We talk about Stewart a lot. He's a dirt track racer. He is using up that left-right steer the first lap. Now this time it tucks right down, but he had a couple of times off turn number 2 and in the middle of 3 and 4. He had to kind of chase the truck up the racetrack a little bit. That time looked a lot better down into turn number 1. Stewart Friesen has a series of runner-up finishes and looking to crack through and get to victory lane. Looks like a pretty good lap. Now we'll see as he crosses down across the stripe and see where he ends up. He was 5th fastest on the first lap. It was better. 3rd fastest for Stu the Shoe, 22.548 seconds, 159.659 miles per hour. 2 drivers remaining.
And right now, Tyler Ankrum, one of those 2. He has just taken the green flag. Sheldon Creed left to go here this afternoon at Dover. And then qualifying for the Jegs 200 will be complete. Here comes Ankrum off the end of the back straightaway. Dials up the low lane. Now here he comes to the start-finish line to take the white flag.
Tyler Ankrum, an 18-year-old racer from San Bernardino, California. Going to be 9th fastest there on his first lap. Not a shocker that he's driving the David Gilliland, the Gilliland Crossley Sport. When you think of San Bernardino, California, the Gillilands are royalty out there. Of course, Butch Gilliland, the father of it. David Gilliland, so much success. And now David with his team. His son Todd running here in the Gander Outdoors Truck Series. So when young Tyler Ankrum was looking for someone to drive for, it didn't get that far from them San Bernardino roots. And he is driving for David Gilliland. He's going to stay 9th fastest here, 22.669, 158.807. Last truck is on the track, Mike.
Green flag in the air for Sheldon Cree, dialing up the bottom of the racetrack in turn 2. He's on the back straightaway, and we'll see if Sheldon Cree has anything for Brett Moffitt. The time he's attempting to beat is the time of Brett Moffitt, 22.303 seconds. The speed 161.413 miles an hour.
Third fastest the first time around, 22.518, about 0.2 of a second off from Brett Moffitt's time. He works his way onto the back straightaway. He is digging down into turn number 3. That truck just sits down. It's a 2-story drop down into turn number 3. Now he's not right along the bottom of the speedway. Now tucks it down to the inside. Truck Fishtails up off from turn number 4. We'll see if he got any faster. No, he did not, and he will remain third. So third fastest for Sheldon Cree, and that'll do it. Brett Moffitt going to be your quick truck driver here today as we get set for this afternoon's Jegs 200.
Flying the ISM Connect colors this weekend, Brett Moffitt. He will lead the field to the green flag. Johnny Sauter will start alongside. Dylan Welch is with the pole sitter of the Jegs 200.
And that is Brett Moffitt. Nice lap for you guys there. So how do you feel about the racetrack here starting from the pole?
I feel really good. Qualifying was actually our weak point yesterday. We were really loose. So Jerry and everybody here at GMS did a really good job of getting it tuned up for us. I love this new style of qualifying. It really puts a lot of pressure on the teams and drivers to go out and hit it right the first time. So I just can't thank everyone at GMS enough, and ISM Connect and Maury Gallagher and the Gallagher family for giving me this opportunity. It's we've had really fast race trucks all year, and it's time to go deliver.
This group won this race last year. How encouraging is that for you as you get set to go for 200 miles here?
Well, it's pretty good, but the guy that won it is right next to me, so I'm sure it'll be a hard battle. He's really good here, and I've had success here in the past, so looking forward to go to work.
Going to be fun to watch the front row battle it out for sure, but Brett Moffitt going to lead us to the green this afternoon here at Dover.
Brett Moffitt finished 12th here at Dover in the race last year, so going to see what he has here. The reigning champ of the series has the front starting spot here for the Jegs 200 here this afternoon, and let's give you the starting lineup for today's race. Brett Moffitt will be your pole sitter. Alongside of him will be Johnny Sauter. Sheldon Cree will start in the third spot, with fourth being Stewart Friesen. Matt Crafton qualified in the fifth spot, but that engine change will relegate him back to the tail end of the field. But fifth qualifier is Matt Crafton. Sixth is Grant Enfinger. Rafael Lessard going to start in the seventh spot. Brennan Poole going to start eighth. Harrison Burton going to start ninth. And Tyler Ankrum, your 10th fastest driver.
Ben Rhodes will start 11th. Austin Hill 12th. Jessie Little 13th. Todd Gilliland 14th. And Derrick Krause 15th. Ross Chastain will start this evening in 16th, with Austin Wayne Self in 17th, Gus Dean in 18th, Brandon Jones 19th, and Natalie Decker in 20th.
Front row Joe. Well, he's not front row today. Joe Nemechek, 21st fastest. Jordan Anderson will start in the 22nd spot. Tyler Dipple, 23rd. 24th will be Reed Wilson. Tyler Hill will start 25th. 26th will be Corbin Forester, with Spencer Boyd in that backup truck, 27th. Jennifer Jo Cobb, 28th fastest. Josh Rayum, 29th. Ray Ciccarelli, 30th. Norm Benning, 31st. And Ryan Sieg did not get a lap completed, but he will start shotgun on the field in the 32nd position.
Be sure to be back with us at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Jegs 200. Of course, tomorrow we've got the NASCAR Xfinity Series Allied Steel Buildings 200. That's at 1 Eastern. And then Sunday, the Gander RV 400 Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming up later this afternoon in just about 45 minutes, another round of NASCAR Xfinity Series practice. Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden will join us here on NASCAR.com and at MRN.com. And, of course, pole qualifying later this afternoon, all before we fire off the trucks for a 200-lapper on the Monster Mile here in Dover International Speedway. For Jason Toy, Dylan Welch, and Steve Post, I'm Mike Bagley. We congratulate Brett Moffitt winning the pole for the Jegs 200 here in Dover.
Motor Racing Network's coverage of NASCAR has come to you from Dover International Speedway. Today's broadcast was brought to you under an exclusive radio license granted by Dover International Speedway to the Motor Racing Network, solely for the private non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any use of the description and accounts at this event without the express written consent of the Motor Racing Network is prohibited. Follow all the NASCAR action at MRN.com. This has been a production of the Motor Racing Network.